NNEC students have access to a G Suite account, the account that can be used for email, but also for doing your assignments through Docs, Google Slides, and Sheets. Okay, how do I access this crazy account that WASA has given me? Well, how do you access your Google Suite? It is very simple. All you have to do, and we're going to do it together, is open Google Chrome browser. So you see all these browsers here? I have hidden this Internet Explorer browser because I want you to use Google Chrome. That is the best browser to use for G Suite. Okay? And I'm actually going to sign out of here. Nope. I'm going to sign right out so I can bring you to exactly where you need to go and what you're going to see. Here we go. I should be able to manage. Perfect. I'm going to remove all these people, including myself. And I'm going to put myself back in. Okay, so if you have never signed into a Google account and you open up the Chrome browser and you go to google.com, this is what you'll see. You'll see a blue sign in button. You will see a little gray icon in the top of the browser box, and then you would just normally go do a Google search. You may not know it, but if you have a Gmail account, you might have already signed in. So if you don't see that sign in button, it means you're probably already signed in as yourself. And if you had signed in, you would see a circle with maybe your letter of your name instead of sign in. Okay? You have a couple options here. You can sign in here, which is this little blue box. That's fine. But you could also sign up here in the browser. The difference between signing in here in the blue box is you sign in and it's like signing into your Google account and then you sign out and you're done. Okay, if you sign in up here at the browser, what will happen is anything that you do, it will be remembered by your browser no matter what computer you're on. So you could go and sign into another computer in another building in another country, and it's going to remember all your bookmarks and all the extensions and the apps that you've installed into your G Suite account. So totally up to you. I'm going to sign in up here. You can do what you like. You're going to turn on sync and you're going to enter your email address. And you're like, Katie, what's my email address? Well, let me tell you. Your email address is very simple. It is your first name, and I'm going to write it right here, nice and neatly. First name, dot your last name, and then it's going to be the month of your birth date and the day of your birth date at NNECschools.org. Okay. I'm going to move this down a little if it will let me. Oh, it won't let me. Won't let me. I'm going to erase it. I'm going to write it one more time just so you can remember. I'm going to write it here and then erase it, and we'll put it and I'll write it down here. So to log into your NNEC account, it's first name, dot last name, month that you were born, day that you were born, at NNEC schools with an S, .org. Don't make the mistake of putting .com because it's .org. Oh, look at that. I can move it. Let's convert it to text. No. Okay, so we know that if my name is Katie Birch, I'm going to put Katie.Birch, my month of my birth date, my number of my birth date, at NNECschools.org. If your birthday is in January, then you're going to put 01. You have to put a 0. If it's only a single digit number, put a 0 in front of it. Same as if it was June, you would put 06. And if you were born on June 1st, would you put 1? No, you would put 01. Okay, so make sure you put a 0. If it's a single digit number, you got to put a 0 in front of it. But in my case, that's not what it is. So one more time, your login for your NNEC Schools account is your first name. Okay, dot your last name. The month you were born, the day you were born, at nnecschools.org. Getting much better at writing while I talk. So if your name is, for example, John Mamakizik, okay, and your birth date is January 12th, this is how your login will be. It will be John.Mamakizik, make sure you spell it right, month, which is 01 for January, day, which is 12, at nnecschools.org. Okay. Write it down on a piece of paper if you need to, just so you make sure you get it right. Any of the WASA teachers can request a password change or clarify your account information if for whatever reason it's not working. So I'm going to log in. DC030 demo student. I have a demo account. Okay. Perfect. So your initial password, the one that I give you at the very beginning, is going to be WASA student. Okay? One of the biggest mistakes people make is they spell WASA wrong. WASA is W-A-H-S-A student. Okay. What happens if you forgot your password? No problemo. If you forgot your password, you can email me. If you forgot your password, you can email me at this address. You can email Jovi, actually. She can change passwords for you too. All you have to do is say, Jovi, Katie, I can't get into my email for Google. Please help me, and we will get right on it for you. Okay, so don't leave it. If you can't get in, don't leave it. Send me an email. I'm usually pretty good at getting back to it right away. So let's see if we can log in. Beautiful. So first thing that the time you log in, it's going to ask you if you want to link your data. And I would say yes, just because then it's going to remember what you're doing online. There you go. So you'll see that once you're logged in, a little icon will pop up here. So maybe I'm going to move this guy. Why won't it let me move? Hang on. Having trouble with Smart Bridget here. Okay, so doesn't like me today. Oh, there we go. Okay, whatever. Okay, we'll just shrink it down like this. Okay, so you'll see your icon pop up here or here, and maybe you've seen this and you're like, oh, I'm already logged in. I need to log out and go into my NNEC account. That's no problem. All you have to do is click here, and you can actually add another account in there. Google does get a bit confused between accounts, so it's better to have one at a time. But once you're in there, you're going to see a page that looks like this, just like a Google search, but now you're logged in. Great. See these waffles here? Waffles are your friend. Okay, when you see waffles, you know there is awesomeness under those waffles. Okay, so what does the waffle do? Well, the waffle gives you access to all of those tools I was talking about. Remember I said Google Drive, where you can do documents, sheets, and slides, but in the waffle you can actually access all those things right here as well. You also have an email account. You have a calendar, and if you scroll down, you even have your own YouTube channel. Whoa, awesome. Okay, so you also have access to a whole bunch of other tools. The tools we're talking about today, we're going to focus on Google Drive. Okay, Gmail, you should try to start using, but let's talk about Google Drive, because this is where you can access all of your files and your documents. You'll see I have a couple in here already because I have a demo student on the go. Any assignment that you create will show up here in your Google Drive. If you're a visual person and you prefer to see things in folders neatly and the pictures of them like this, leave it at this view. If you prefer lists, this little icon up here, you can choose to see them in lists, and that's fine too. Okay? I don't mind. Whatever works for you, that's the nice thing about Google. All right, so in the top left here, you're going to see this icon that says New. This is where you'll create any kind of file you can imagine. You've got Google Docs, Google Sheets, Google Slides. If you hit more, you also have Google Forms, Google Drawings, anything Google, Google Maps, really awesome tools. A really neat feature actually of Google recently is if you hover over this next one, you can go to a blank document, but you can also search for templates. So if you're in an English class and you need a brochure template, you can go find a brochure template there. Same as Google Sheets. You hover over, you can get a blank spreadsheet, or you can find a template. Same as Google Slides, blank presentation, or you can find a template of a presentation that's already been created. Look at that fanciness. All the fanciness work is taken away from you, and you can just go ahead and make a beautiful presentation. Little secret, your teachers will think it's totally you, and you'll get a great grade, so keep that in mind. All right, so now that we're in Google, I'm just going to divert and tell you that just like in Microsoft, when we organize ourselves in Microsoft or any other program, we create folders, because if we keep stuff stored in folders, it's easy to find again. And today I'm going to show you how to create a folder for my class, which is DC030, because all of my co-op students need to have a portfolio folder, and that's what we're going to create today. All right, so we're going to go New Folder, and we're going to call it put your name on it actually. We're going to say Katie DC030 Portfolio. Actually, I'm going to call this demo student so I don't get confused. And look what happens. It created a folder. This is not a document, this is a folder. This is where if I say go and put something in your portfolio, you're going to put it in here. It's just like a folder, just like a hard copy folder. It's all stored in Google, and you can just put stuff in there, and then I'll be able to access it. But I can only access it if you share it with me. So what you're going to do once you've created that folder, you're going to click on it, and you're going to hit this little guy with the plus, because I want you to share it with me, because I need to see what's in your folder, in your portfolio, to make sure you're adding the right things. Okay, then all you have to do is search for my name. K. Birch, there I am there. Please don't make the mistake of sharing it with nnec.on.ca. Share it with my NNEC schools account, okay? Leave it, you can leave me to have edit access and put a note. Hi, Katie. This is demo student. Here is my portfolio folder. Thanks for teaching me. Okay, and then we're going to sign it demo student. All right, you don't have to notify me, but you can. And what it's going to do is it's going to share that folder with me. So basically all that means is now you and I both have access to your portfolio, and that's a win-win for you, because then I can help you add things to it. Okay, so that's how you create a folder. Now, if you are in an English class or a science class or a math class, or maybe you're doing PLAR and you want to do your assignment in Google, because this is free. You have free access to this. So you're going to go New, this is to make a document, Google Doc. You're going to give it a title up here just like you normally would. So let's pretend that this is a PLAR English lesson 1. Okay? and you'll do your assignment here. And when you're finished your assignment, or maybe if you're halfway through your assignment, especially if you're in PLAR, because I know Bonnie and Jovi both use Google, you can actually share this with your teacher. So you can go ahead and share it with Bonnie. There she is there. And she will be able to access the document and talk to you while you're working on your assignment. I mean, that's a really helpful tool with Google Docs. So for now, I'm going to share it to myself because I don't want Bonnie to freak out that something strange is coming to her. But if you wanted to and you're working on assignments with other teachers, feel free to check with them first that they use Google. And if they do, then go ahead and share your assignments with them and get some feedback so you can up your marks. Like, who doesn't want to get better marks? I'm going to show you another tool, though, that you probably didn't know you had access to, which costs you literally $0. And it's called Read and Write for Google. Okay, what I love about this is I'm going to type a paragraph. So I'm going to show you what happens. Maybe sometimes, let's go here actually. We're going to go to the assignment that I had students do yesterday, and I'm like, man, I am really struggling with reading the instructions. I wonder if this document will read the instructions for me. Well, guess what it does? If you click on this Read and Write for Google, it opens up a tab, and if you hit play, listen to what happens.
LM2-2 Turbo Job Descriptions. Rewrite each resume job description in Turbo language. Make sure you use an action verb in each sentence and avoid using I. You can choose from the verb suggestions or think of your own. The first one is done for you.
Look at that. You don't even have to read anymore. Another thing which I think is super awesome is you also have this voice typing, an audio maker, but Google itself has a really cool tool, and it's called voice typing. So if you go to Tools in a Google Doc or any document, and you say voice typing, all you have to do is enable your microphone and it will actually type for you. So I'm going to grab a book and I'm going to read from it, and I'm going to show you what happens. You have to allow your microphone here. It's going to ask you once, so just be aware of that. Some of the rules that apply to McDonald's Code of Conduct are listed below, period. Put a letter beside each statement if it has to do with ethics in general, comma, privacy and confidentiality, comma, or other, comma, if you think it describes another type of concern, period. Look at that. So you don't have to read your work. You don't even have to type your work. You just need to focus on thinking. How awesome is that? And then you're like, man, I don't know if that makes sense. And I actually do this. I will go and have something read back to me to make sure it makes sense. So you can click on this little icon that should automatically be in your browser for you, and click on it, and you can hit play.
Some of the rules that apply to McDonald's Code of Conduct are listed below. Put a letter beside each statement if it has to do with ethics in general, privacy and confidentiality, or other, if you think it describes another type of concern.
Awesome. Even if you don't know what a word means, if you're not sure what the word conduct means, you can highlight it and use this tool here, which is dictionary, and it will give you a description of what the word means. And if you don't know how, if you don't want to read it,
the way
it will
in which
read it
a
for
business,
you.
etc., is organized and run.
So many tools to help you be successful with WASA. Amazing. All right, it'll even give you a picture dictionary. Not sure what it's going to, there you go. All right, so that is Read and Write for Google. That is sharing a document with your teacher. Very simple. And that is creating a folder. To create anything new, you hit new. New folder, new doc, new sheet, new slide. If you're visual like I am and you're like, Katie, these colors are so boring. They're gray. I wish I could make my folder blue. Well, guess what? Google will let you do that too. Right-click on the folder, and you're going to go change color. And I'm going to change my folder to blue because I want it to be blue. And I want my classroom folder to be, let's go purple. I need a calm color today. All right. Easy, right? And see that document that I just created, PLAR English? I want to file that away and put that in my portfolio. So all you have to do is drag and drop it. And now it's organized in that portfolio for you. Easy, right? Okay, if your teacher happens to share an assignment with you, so when you share a document with your teacher, that's awesome. It's still in your Google Drive. If your teacher shares a document with you, you're going to go to Shared with Me, and you'll see that that there's documents in there that have been shared with you. If someone happens to share a document with you, and sometimes your teachers might want to do that. All right, so all of my students should now be able to access their G Suite account. They should be able to create a folder and share that folder with me for their electronic portfolio. And you should also be able to use this for other courses like English or math or science, where you have a WASA teacher that is allowing you to use Google to submit assignments. So if you want any help, I am always available. I'm going to go ahead and add another account. I'm going to add myself as a cat. And I'm going to log in again with my WASA credentials.